What's on my Christmas list this year? I want everybody, you, to go get this. Well, the book is still the same, but I did a little bit of revising to it, re released it, and the book is now out on Amazon. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to get in this beautiful book. First and foremost, this is a hip hop book. It's based on spirituality and mental health. My Road to Damascus, a journey through spirituality and mental health that leads to liberation and personal development. Now, let me break that title down to you. We'll start from the personal development aspect of it. I started seeing a therapist in 2018, I think it was. And I was actually thinking that I was just going to speak on the challenges that I had in my marriage. But my therapist said, what you're talking about is some surface level things. In order for us to deal with what you're going through in your marriage, we need to get down deep into me. We need to understand what I am and where I'm coming from. He sensed that there was some anger there. He sensed that there was some self-love issues there, some self-confidence issues there. So we began to delve into that. We began to talk about my childhood. And there was an event that happened in my childhood that, for years and years, it was hard for me to get past. I moved on from it in a literal sense, but I did not move on from it to really not solve the problem, because you don't solve that type of a problem. You address it and you try to bring it to rest in your spirit and move on from it in a positive way. And when that incident got brought up, it brought up a whole nother gang of issues and triggers, and me not feeling included, me having confidence issues, me wanting to be a part of something, me having these trust issues, especially with authority figures, more so men, not being able to have a full trust of authority. As I'm going through this, one day I decided to write a song about this type of, at this period of time in my life. I was 8, 9, 10 years old when I went through this situation. I tried to make a song about my experience having been the product of a man cheating on his wife and having a baby in that outside relationship. And what happened when I was brought around that family and the experiences that I went through and the way that they made me feel. So I couldn't really get the song together for that. I even had a whole verse. I had the music, but I was not able to bring it together in a way that I thought that I would be satisfied with it. So I got frustrated, turned the music off, and I just sat there and thought for a second. Got on my computer, and I just started writing. Next thing I know, it's 30 pages. Then I put it down for a minute. And then I had some unfortunate things happen. Go into quarantine. I'm in a place where I don't necessarily feel wanted, nor do I necessarily want to be there, but it was a blessing that I had a roof over my head. I didn't expect it to be that long. Before I went there, there was no quarantine. After I got there and everything was shut down, I was pretty much there. While I was there, I started to go through my own more present time issues And I started looking at what I was going through during this transition that I had been in the midst of with leaving organized religion and getting into a more spiritually based, conscious type of thought process. You know, I started writing about that. And those writings, after I read them and I started going through them, it seemed that they definitely intertwined with my previous writings. Even though what I previously wrote 5-6 months ago was from my childhood, it basically was intertwining with what I was presently writing. So this is like, and at this point, I'm still not even looking at this as a book. That's not even my thing. I didn't think that I would be in a position to be a professional author at this time. But I believe the universe works out things that are supposed to be worked out for the individual that wants them. And I wanted people to know my story. I wanted people to learn about this situation that I had been going through, specifically because I knew that there were a lot of men who were going through these same things, who may have had these same challenges. And if they didn't have these same challenges, they had a different experience, but brought the same feelings, the same feeling of not being adequate, the same feeling of not being a part, the same feeling of not having real self-love and self-confidence and not a vision for themselves or focus for themselves. I started looking at this and thinking that, you know, it was helping me while I was just writing it. You know, it was very emotional as I was going through and penning these thoughts and experiences. It was liberating to me. So the liberation aspect comes into point where when you have these things bottled up inside of you and you can address them in a proper manner, you feel good about what you're doing, so you feel liberated. That's freedom right there, man. Personal development is just the fact that while you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, you're learning from it. Every experience has a learning element to it. Even when you win, whether you win or lose, whatever the experience goes through, the challenge that comes to you, it's to help you develop. Because look, we're all spiritual beings having this earthly experience down here. We are all going through something. And life is meant to bring you challenges. It's meant to teach you, and it's meant to bring you to a status of love, of giving, so you can have something that you could produce for humanity as a whole. That's the personal development aspect of it. The spirituality aspect of it is just the fact that while I was in religion, I was not able to open up and be open-minded enough to learn the broad other concepts, feelings, teachings. You know, I didn't learn about meditation while I was in church. There are definitely scriptures in the Bible that talks about meditation to a degree, but the element of using it as a tool for helping you cope with life experiences, anxiety, depression, you know, this is one of the main tools that we have. Meditation, it's a gift. One of the biggest gifts that we could ever get is the gift of meditation. To sit, have your eyes closed, find your breath, and just let your mind come down, bring calmness to you. This is what I had learned as far as one of the first things I learned as far as the spirituality walk that I've been on. Law of attraction. I read the Kabbalion, All these things I put in a book. All these experiences I put in a book. I was able to intertwine all these things and bring them in a way that the hip hop culture can easily digest this thing. Because like I said, this is a hip hop book. This is for the hip hop culture. The mental health aspect of it, My Road to Damascus, a journey through spirituality and mental health. Okay. We are so gangster that we don't want to have feelings. That's what we've been portraying as a whole culture. As a hip hop nation, we don't want to shed tears. We don't want to show how we feel. We want to have these we want to have this sense of being hard because we think that's what a man is. A man is everything. Sometimes you could be rough. Sometimes you could be soft. Sometimes you could be intellectual. Sometimes you could be fun. Sometimes you could be pissed off. Sometimes you could be in the midst of having the happiest and most thrilling experience of your life. But we have gotten to a point where it is not cool or not good to tell folks how we feel if we're not feeling up to par. We have to break ourselves out of this. We have to get away from this because it has not profited us as a whole culture at this particular time. So the great thing about mental health is now it's more of a broad subject where more people are speaking about it. And the cool part about it is sometimes I get into these conversations with individuals, and they're actually understanding that your spiritual walk is not your spiritual walk and your mental health walk go hand in hand. You can't have a productive spiritual life without your mental health being up to par. If you having signs of depression or anxiety, that is not a good thing for your spirit. Meditation will help that. Learning from other people's experiences will help that. Reading certain literatures will help that. Music can help that. Going to your gift will help that. I tell everybody, man, you got to find your gift, whether you can feel like you can get paid from it or not. Your gift is your direct communion with your higher self or with the Most High or with God, whatever you want to call it. Your gift is there for a reason. Your gift gets you focused. Your gift gets you present. Your gift brings out your creative juices to bring something to this world that the universe can profit from. When I wrote this book, I started understanding. Well, actually, after I finished the book, I started understanding that this book is not just for me. I target this book towards Black men in the hip hop culture. But anybody can read this book and anybody can gain something from it, whether you're a white lady that's an accountant, whether you're a white man who's a doctor. It touches on very many subjects, but it's a hip hop book for Black men because if we ain't right, we have a tendency to make it not right for everything. So that's what this book is for, man. This is a self-help book. It's a spiritual book. There's inspiration in this book. I am telling my story of how I addressed my problems. I was forced to address my problems. I was forced to stop running and address my problems because I saw that they were destroying me. So, I want you to go to Amazon right now and search My Road to Damascus, a journey through mental health, spirituality that leads to liberation and personal development. I want you to go get that book. My face is going to be on the cover. This right here, I put this originally out earlier in this year, and then I revised it because for marketing purposes, I wanted people to find me when they're looking for the book. My Road to Damascus. Go to Amazon. You can get the book for yourself. If you're a woman, you could get the book. Maybe you're a woman that has a man in your life, whether it could be your brother, your husband, your boyfriend, your dad. You see them in the midst of struggling, and you want to read the book. And after you read the book, hey, this could be something that I can give to them as a gift. I read it. I read this guy's story, and this is something that could be a benefit to this person over here. But my hip hop nation, I need y'all. I need my folks in the hip hop nation to support this. This is an equivalent, to me, this is an equivalent of my first debut album. You look at what Jay-Z is, Reasonable Doubt, Biggie, Ready to Die, Dr. Dre, The Chronic. This is my debut. You know, if you go back and you look at those albums were pieces of music and creations that entail everything that these men, these great MCs, these producers went through up until the point where they got on and they were able to express themselves, and they threw everything in this piece of work. They told their story. Well, this is my story. It's not an album, it's a book, but it's my debut classic hip hop contribution. So I want you this Christmas, for me, buy my book. That's my gift. But the gift that you will get is the knowledge, the encouragement, the inspiration of what's in the pages of My Road to Damascus. Thank you. Appreciate it.